Yeah, 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 yeah. Yep. Yeah, don't y'all come in and shortchange me out of my thumbs up today. Y'all been shorting me lately, man. Stop shorting the eagle, man. What's wrong with y'all, man? Y'all shorting the eagle. Eagle. I don't deserve to be short. But anyway, my brother was in here. I see Gil was in here. I don't know if Gil had to leave or whatever. I left him. That's his little message up there for Gil. But anyway, before I even get started, for anybody that I see out there, I'm going to salute them out right now. So anyway, Gil Cole, salute to Gil Cole. And I see Michael Johnson, Boxing Talk, and more. It usually has good input. Well, most of them, if you see them in blue, they usually have good input. With the exception of my little brother Gil, he will have good input and then he'll say some shit. But that's just what it is. Y'all gotta get used to that. But anyway, salute to Michael Johnson, Boxing Talking More. Salute to Gil Cole. Gil Cole's in there. He said, "Sup, Eagles Web." Yeah, and then I left him a little message right there. Michael Johnson, Boxing Talking More. I said, "What it do?" It's okay if you're fam, you can come in and say what it do. If you're not fam, you might want to be. That might be a cautionary tale for you when you get up in here. You might want to respect the chat first, and try to see what's going on, because a lot of my people don't like that. My web watchers don't like that. Sometimes they don't like you coming in and acting too familiar if they not familiar with you. If they don't know you, they gonna be questioning you. Then once you get put on the spot, that's it. You probably ain't gonna your stay here is probably not gonna be as long. It's probably not gonna be as welcome. I'm just saying stuff like that. But we'll welcome more people. I invited some family members to come in, so hopefully they'll be up in here. So now look at Gil. Gil, or he come back tomorrow. Which heavyweight finger painting? All of them finger painting. Okay, so I'll get into it in a second, Gil. Just calm your ass down. Just calm down for a second. So first, no, I'll get to it. I want to talk first, man. Now we'll get to it. Matter of fact, I'll let you. You can name some of them yourself. Okay, so that's the topic is the finger painting, but we're gonna talk about more on that. Okay, and also now we do hypotheticals and stuff, but I'm gonna break down the hypothetical. I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down with different sports probably to make it like an obvious, because sometimes things, I don't care if you call it hypothetical or not, it's an obvious. It's an obvious to know if Goliath, let's just say, because some people don't believe in it, but if Goliath was true, if he was true, that there wouldn't be a fighter, I don't care what style, MMA, boxing, or anything else, that would be able to win. Yeah. And I see your little comments too. Wilder better get it together. Yeah, everybody's on the chopping block today. And like I said, we've been doing this, and the way we do this in a methodical way. Is, as you know, a lot of times people think, oh, the chat's slow or whatever. The chat is not slow. It's just that a lot of stuff we already been way advanced. Like I put Manny, everybody know that it's been a few months. I put Manny as the face of boxing. Manny did not last 2 months as the face of boxing. He started slowly. He just started declining a little bit at a time. He started declining. Now we're talking about heavyweights, but we'll talk about everybody. Everybody gets to get some today. This is Wednesday. Everybody gets some in Eagles Way of Boxing today. So everybody can get it. If we're not like AB, because in here we're going to win. Somebody's going to win because one of the points is going to be too valid. Or some of the points is going to just be too valid. There is no escape in Eagles Web. So you're not going to sit there and just escape. But like I said, I'll take it. Like I said, when we do the hypothetical, like I said, I'm going to make it obvious. And people will still argue, even if it's obvious. Like, for instance, this is a hypothetical, right? with the great sprinters, if you've seen, there was a race with Usain Bolt, and he was against Justin Gatlin, and I think like Tyson Gay, and a couple other sprinters that can run their ass off. I mean, acting up again. Put up a one if y'all can hear me. I don't want to do a whole lot of talking if y'all can't hear me. But if y'all can hear me, hit the 1 if you can hear. Okay, so Gil put up 1. Okay, so now I'm back. So here's the obvious. Now this should be an obvious hypothetical. We're going to say it's hypothetical. So if the great sprinter, we'll just call him a great sprinter, Usain Bolt, if he wore steel-toe boots with slick soles on them every time he raced, no matter if it was 200 or 100 meters, no matter what, everybody else had on track shoes, but he wore steel-toe boots with slick bottoms. Is there a chance that he would have ever became world champ when it comes to sprinting? Would he have been one of the best known sprinters, as far as would he have been one of the fastest sprinters of all times if he wore steel-toe boots, steel-toe big-ass work boots? Probably how much they weigh a piece. About 3 pounds a piece, 3-4 pounds a piece. If he wore those with slick bottoms, would he have become Olympic champion in the 100 and 200? So that's how obvious I'm going to make it. When we get to that point, this is how obvious I'm going to make it. Because Gil's talking about he's talking about the finger painting. See, now that's a hypothetical, but you can right away, you say, oh, hell no. Ain't no way. There's no way. So let's take it. So we'll take it even deeper than that, Gil Coles. We'll take it a little bit deeper than that. If you had on lead weighted sneakers, and you were swimming, what would be the percentage or chance that you actually could swim on top of the water? I'm talking about with lead weighted sneakers on. You got sneakers on, first of all. They tie it up and they're lead weighted. 5 pounds a piece. What's the chances of anybody being successful at swimming across a lake with that shit on? What's your chance? Is it 1% chance? 0? 99? 100? See? Because I want to bring out a little bit of exposure today. We're gonna do some exposing, and we're gonna do a little bit of other stuff. But we gotta do some exposing today. And I see my brother D-Lo 404 in there. Salute all. Salute to him. Because a lot of times, people don't like the hypothetical. Okay, look, we're gonna make it obvious, because sometimes you have to make it obvious because people don't see it. So you have to say stuff that's just obvious or whatever. You know what I mean? You have to say something that's real. It has to be obvious, because people just don't get it. You know what I mean? So if you let's talk about, so you're on the mountain and you're having a challenge. So the challenge is to roll a boulder off the mountain. And somebody has a perfectly spherical boulder. They both weigh the same. They both 300 pounds. And then you got a square boulder. And you both push at the same time. Now, what's the chances of that square boulder getting down to the bottom faster than that one that's perfectly spherical? What's the chance? Is there 1% chance, 0% chance? Is it 50-50? because that's what a lot of people like to use in boxing. A lot of people like to use 50-50. And don't worry, we're gonna get into the finger painting. And the reason I came up with that, and the reason I think it, you gotta know Eagle. When Eagle talk about certain stuff, you ought to know what finger painting. What is he talking about? Is he talking about physical, like real painting? No, we'll get that. But see, nobody wants to put up any kind of percentage. Okay. But you guys will eventually, because we'll slash through it a little. We're gonna slash through it a little bit more, because we got a lot of these fighters. And I feel I don't care. We can agree to disagree, or we can just disagree. But that clout chasing shit is very heavy. Or that I need a position right now, and everybody's using the Roro for their excuse not to do shit. And Gil brought up a point earlier. He said Wilder better get it together. Somebody better get it together. All of you better get it together, because now what they're doing, and now let's go ahead and get into it a little bit deeper before we're gonna match some stuff up. If they don't get it together soon, their place in history is going to really suffer. So we can go back. We take our little time capsule and go back. So during the war effort, way back in the 40s, early 40s, were we still able to enjoy boxing as a public? Were we still able to enjoy boxing? And then the boxers that they took off the scene, the ones that did have to go and fight in that effort, what did they do in order to cement their legacy in boxing, even though they weren't actually like in professional boxing at the time? And I'm gonna tell you, Sugar Ray Robinson and Joe Louis and other fighters, what they did exhibitions and stuff within the Army. And matter of fact, they changed a lot of things within that Army. We talked about this before. They changed some things to, far as like things that are, I can't stand this subject. As far as racially, things that are racially charged. And they changed that, And we're not going to get into that point of it, but we're talking about our picture. So Gil's asking about who's finger painting. Shit, well, who the hell's not finger painting? Maybe D-Lo know what I'm talking about when I say that they finger painting. So when you paint your picture for your own life or for whatever, you're in the sport. And when you're painting your picture, of course, there's going to be some rough spots in there when you paint your picture. Gil's stupid. I'm not even gonna read that shit out loud, Gil. I'm not even gonna read that shit out loud. But it's funny. Gil's stupid. Y'all gotta ignore Gil. It's too bad he is my little brother. That's my mod, and y'all can't do nothing about it. He just sticking his tongue out at y'all. But just say the wrong thing, D-Lo gonna get you anyway. I already know that. But that was kind of foul. I'm not gonna read it, and I'll let y'all go ahead and read because he's acting crazy right now. So you take your brush as a fighter or whatever you're going to do. And so you have to be the one that you're the artist. You have to paint your picture. So what does your picture look like? In rough times, what does it look like? So let's talk. So since we can start by our ABCs, so let's start like somebody like Adrian Broner. So what does his picture look like? His first couple of years, what does his picture look like? His picture looks great, right? Is it vivid? Is it in color? And then he had to switch up from color to start using gray. All kinds of shades of gray. It's like, because we couldn't recognize him. Yeah, because we can't recognize him. I know D-Lo, freaking Gil's a mess, man. You can't. You cannot deal with Gil sometimes. Gil is out of his damn mind. But yeah, so he started painting with all these different like grays and stuff like that. We're like, oh, is that Broner? Or whatever. So, but I'm not digressing. I'm just saying, I'm comparing. Everybody gets some. So, but the heavyweight picture. So who in heavyweight is AJ? What does his picture look like so far? And we're talking about these fighters that want to go down in greatness. And Wilder, your ass is going to get thrown in there too. All of you going to get thrown in there. So what does his picture look like? I'm going to tell you who has the best picture in heavyweight right now. You might not, and you might agree or you might disagree. The one who has the best picture in the heavyweight right now is Ortiz. Ortiz has the best picture in the heavyweight. And somebody gonna get mad. Oh, dude, he's not even champion, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. You're gonna go crazy. Well, go crazy, because that's what you're used to doing. You're used to just going crazy and shit, so just go crazy. And Gil, and look, hey, you know, if the comment pop up, you know I'm gonna get to it. And you talking to D-Lo, but you can't say Eagles Web if you're talking to D-Lo. Don't use Eagles Web if you're talking to D-Lo. Just keep it D-Lo. Don't add me up in there. Because once you start saying my name up in there, I gotta check it out and I gotta say something. When you say that Eagles Web said that, I did not say that he was an exhibition fighter. We talking about the finger painters, and we talking about somebody, how you gonna paint your picture. And right now we're on AJ. So how is AJ painting his picture? And also it's talking about Ortiz. How is AJ painting his picture? First of all, AJ came out and he was supposed to be all that, right? The next coming of a Mike Tyson or whoever, like the great champions. But then let's say midway through his career, we started noticing some flaws in his paint. Because he came out, he was using oil paint. And you know, oil paint that's a paint that lasts for a long time. And then all of a sudden, he started using watercolors. He started using watercolors, and people was dropping a little bit of water on it, and it was just disappearing or turning into something else. His whole facade looked completely different. When he first came out, everybody was, oh yeah, AJ, that's the goods and stuff like that. So now you big upping him. Everybody's big upping him. But then guess what happened all of a sudden after you start big upping him? He changed paint. The whole palette changed. The first you was using oil paint, and now you using, and we know how oil paint is. You can't mix it with the water like that. So now you're using water-based paint. You're doing watercolors all of a sudden. So you started off and you had this image in our mind that was, oh, that's going to be the next great thing. And then you go, see, I'm not gonna read that out either, man, because I'm gonna get to Ortiz, but I'm not gonna read your stuff out, Gil. So you feel the laughter today, Wednesday, got your ass laughing, which is cool. Because some of this is laughable and stuff. So your picture with all the watercolors is becoming confusing. So we started with AB, who's not a heavyweight, but AB started off colorful, but all of a sudden his shit went to black and white. AJ started off with oil paints and colorful and looks nice. Now he doing watercolors. And watercolors, we know that a little bit of water, you can change it. So all that shit changes. So we don't know. And that's why I call it finger painting. It's like you finger painting. The reason you're finger painting, and we'll get into more of them, the reason you finger painting is because when a baby, and I'm going to say baby because they probably 3 years old, 4 years old, something like that. That's when they first start with the finger painting. Now they doing finger paintings, and you know the teacher probably puts their name on the finger painting, right? They're happy they get to take it home, but you look at it, and what do you say when you look at it? Do you say, oh, that's a nice little dog you made there with your fingers? Oh, that's a nice bird. Or what do you say to your child when they come home with their first finger painting? And second question, do you know what the F it is? Or is both of those the same thing? Because they're leaving us as fans, think about it. Now, I try to do the separation of errors in boxing. Now, the separation works for a certain extent. But if we look back, and I'm not saying you don't have to go way back. It can still be modern era, whatever. It can still be like within the last 5 years or anything, any way you want to look at it. Are we getting definitive pictures when it comes to boxing? Like in the last 10 years, have we been getting definitive pictures when it comes to boxing? Do we know who got neck? Okay. Do we know who has necks up in here? That's the question. For the heavyweight picture, let's say even 20 years ago, did we know who had necks? Who was next up? Do we know who had necks? I'm not messing with you, Gil. I'm not. I'll let your audience to read what you write, and I'm not messing with you right now. And that's why I think Streamlabs came and got you. Streamlabs put the 3-piece on somebody and used the Korean language on them. That looks Korean. I think it's, or Chinese, looks Korean. But Streamlabs put that Korean 3-piece on you because he's tired of you too. So am I going to use this? Is that what I'm using to paint my picture? But you say stuff about Ortiz. Now, I talk about Ortiz. Now, the reason I say that about Ortiz is because Ortiz's palette is consistent. He's using oil paint, and the bump that he ran into a couple of bumps. But as he's painting his picture, is he asking for a warm-up fight? Is he asking for somebody who's ranked number 25? Is he trying to fight somebody out of his weight division? Right? Is he a super welterweight wanting to fight a welterweight? Is he trying to jump all over the place? And when you paint that picture, who's painting that picture right now for greatness? And this is not just a heavyweight jump, you know, because we can throw a lot of other fighters underneath there. And that's why I say that Ortiz is consistent, because he's having bumps, but he's like, okay, I still want whoever. He said, I'm still going to mess up. Whoever's next to fight me is getting messed up. But who else is saying that? Everybody else is like, sometimes, I don't know, man. You got oil paint right now, but sometimes you don't have oil paint. You got some other shit on. What kind of shit you got on yet, man? That's dirt. That's not even paint. So we know if it's dirt, what's going to happen? A lot of things, once dirt dries up, it could be easily blown away. Or if it gets wet, it takes on all kinds of shapes. And so you mentioned, which was a good mention that you came up with. That was a good mention, and I'm going to go with you on that. So Wilder, what kind of picture have you been painting? So Wilder's been taking this brush, and he's been consistent. It's been oiled all the time. It's always oil. And it's like, I'm going to fight him or whatever. I mean, he's fighting calling out everybody, and I'm going to fight everybody. Now that you have a lump in the road, now we don't know if that's oil paint anymore. We don't know if that's oil paint anymore, because it's like, everybody has this excuse with the railroad. All of us have that. But your paintbrush, and you supposed to be painting this shit consistently. So what's going on? And like Gil said, you better get it together. You better start doing something. And I don't know what y'all's idea is on it, but what is your idea? To how can he keep his paintbrush going up and down and painting his picture like I had a bump, and everybody sees that? That's my L. In boxing, a bump is called an L or something like that, or split. It could be a split decision. It could just be some kind of a loss or draw or something like that, just like a bump. And usually when you have a bump in the road or something like that, back in the day, what happens is you're like, you know what? I need to get that back. We need to run that back immediately. Now, there's a person that's been talking a lot that's in the heavyweight division that we see that his color, he's been painting abstract ever since he got his ass in there. Ever since he got in there, he's been painting nothing but abstract. And that's old Powdered Donuts, Dylan White. His shit always been abstract. You here, you there, you all over the place. If you're not painting consistently, that means you all over the place. And he here, there, everywhere. Now, his bump, now think about it. So now you're going to see something. Now, his bump in the road was him getting his ass KTFO'd. But what happened when he got KTFO'd? Immediately, he wanted the re-up right away. Now, if he gets a re-up before Wilder gets a re-up, how does that make him look? For a lot of people, they're going to be, oh, he's still crap. He still ain't nothing as a heavyweight and this and that, blah, blah, blah. You feel me? But out of all that abstract shit he was doing, now he's doing something that's consistent that we like. Right? Am I wrong or am I right? Or am I right? Am I right? All right. So now he's doing something that we look at like, but are we going to really give him a big up though? See, that's the whole thing about, one thing about boxing fans or just fans is that over here, we didn't like you in the first place. When I say we, I don't mean me particularly, but people just don't, I probably don't like you as much. I respect that you box, you in there, risking your life or limbs and all that, but your whole personality and this your whole things where you was accused of, stuff like that. But you are making one move that I can more or less respect, and that is you're trying to get that re-up. But even with Tyson Fury was the one that kept acting like he wanted to get the re-up or whatever at first. I'm going to honor your rematch clause in there. And now we not hearing that but clowning. All we hearing is clowning. And all we hearing about is Glovegate and clowning and stuff like that. So everybody wants to match up the young guy, they in maybe Effie, right? And Dubois, that everybody wants to bump them up. But what is their picture going like? See, we're painting. So what is their picture looking like? So now we know we got a Usyk in there now. So what does Usyk's picture look like? No, the reason I'm painting this out because I want y'all to see this pattern that's not looking good for certain Americans and certain other fighters is not looking good, but it is starting to look good for ones that we know probably aren't going to really make it. They're probably not going to, last. Usyk probably is not going to last at heavyweight. That somebody's going to hand his ass up. But what are they looking like? You got certain fighters right now, and like I said, I'm concentrating mostly on this, the heavyweight picture. We got two fighters that I name right now, Usyk and White. But is that a picture with Usyk? Is that the picture? Is it going to be like a masterpiece? Or is it going to be a master disaster at the end? Only the time is going to let us know. Yeah. Shut your ass up, Gil. Gil making me laugh. I'm trying not to even. I can't read what he write, man. Cause he keeps saying he hate Ortiz so much, man. That's my brother Ortiz, man. He hate Ortiz so much. He said Ortiz got that EJ Mikey twice. Yeah, he did kind of. Well, he didn't get the EJ Mikey. He got the Wilder. He got the Bominator twice. The EJ Mikey is a different kind of a smash down. You would probably want to have the Wilder Bominator, and it's not the Brazilinator. Yeah, you don't want the Brazilinator. That's a different level of Wilder right there. But just the regular Bominator, you probably want that over the EJ Mikey, because the EJ Mikey that's like a total body That's a body beating. And at least a lot of times, if you just take a abominator, you don't know nothing. You just like, oh, I took the abominator, okay. But you can get your mind back together. But you take the EJ Mikey, you don't know what you want to do. Mikey don't know what he want to do. Mikey acting like a little girl right now. And like I said, you could paint this on any division. So what does Mikey's since you want to talk, you talking about Mikey and you talking about Ortiz and stuff. So what does Mikey's picture look like right now today? What does Mikey's picture look like? And I know we could be talking about that, that lightweight fight, but we're not going to. I'm not going to. You guys already seen the fight. I'm not really going to cover it. I don't want to cover that because I want to. See, the thing is, if we jump ahead, so we're always ahead, like I said. And now, on some of this subject, we weren't that far ahead. We was only like a week or two ahead, something like that. No, maybe a few weeks. Maybe a few weeks ahead when we was talking about the Charlo. So when I said Charlo is going to be I said Charlo has the opportunity to become the face and everything else and to be undisputed. I mean, a lot of people might have been looking the other way or saying, nah, Eagle, you know what I'm talking about. He going to lose. It's going to be upset and shit like that. But look where he's at now. And so all he needs is that one fight. He does, to me, I'm just saying for me. For me, he doesn't even need that one fight. He's already the goods. He don't even need that one fight. But if he can get it, if the guy's really, if Teixeira, if he's serious, I mean, I hope I say his name. I mean, they got different ways how they say it. I think it might be Taziri. Taziri because down Brazil, whatever. But anyway, if he really wants that smoke, then he'll come get it. But they're not going to just be talking about it. Okay, so in all these pictures we're talking about, all this finger painting shit, who's actually is consistent right now, even with the rubber? Who's consistent? Who's getting in there and trying to get this shit done? Who's fighting? Or who's fighting and making plans? Now, we talked about, now we're not going to talk, now heavyweight, we're talking about heavyweight. But Gervonta Davis, right? I've been getting on him for over a year, right? Because of his whole situation, he ain't getting, he's just not getting all these fights in. He's not going to go down in history as a great because he's not going to be able to get the fight. Now, they'll try to make Lomachenko go down in history as a great. Now, he'll go down as maybe a great amateur and an unknown professional. It's like his career is going to be a question mark unless they can just line up some garbage for him that he can just destroy within the next couple of years where he can get, 40-something fights. You see? Or maybe you don't see. But you should understand what I'm saying, that Loma needs help to pad his record. But you got fighters that don't need that kind of help to pad their record, but they're not going to get help anyway. They're not going to be helped. They're going to be more or less, I'm not going to say ostracized or nothing like that, but they're not going to respect their achievement. Because right now, think about it. Loma's achievement is more respected than Wilder's achievement. And that's another point I want to talk about is the losses and stuff like that. But back to Tank. Tank needs to get these fights in, but see, I said that he wasn't getting fights, right? But now didn't they say that he wants to fight Garcia or something too? After this fight? See? They're making plans for early 21. But these fighters need to get in here and fight more. More and more. Now, I'm not on anybody's wagon and stuff like that, like far as bandwagons and stuff like that, because a lot of people are going to be like, oh, this needs to happen and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But what in reality is going to happen is maybe different than what we want to happen. As simple as that. And these fighters are not. I see down there D to the Bailey up in there. Salute to D to the Bailey. So that's the champ, baby. So they taking that paintbrush, and like I said, everybody got their oil paint out and stuff like that. But now these fighters, out of that whole big canvas, because you got to realize you got to paint your picture from one end until you finish with boxing. So all the stuff you did in between, commercials, whatever else, helping out humanity, all that is part of your picture. So if you're painting with oil and all of a sudden, now you just switched over to just like Broner, then switched over to black and white, then just got all kinds of gray in the middle of your painting, then something's wrong. Or if you like AJ, who started off with painting, he was straight. Now he started off with the oil painting, and then everything started becoming controversial. And now he got those watercolors. But at the same time, and so you never had, people don't talk the way the Eagle do when it comes to, talking about certain stuff. Because I want, if you have it in your mind by looking at it like a picture, you can see stuff a lot better. And a lot of other stuff you can see in there. So AJ is using watercolors, but he's talking like he's using oil. He's using watercolors, but he's talking like he's using oil. Now you get mad or whatever because you hate Ortiz, but I said Ortiz is the one that's still using oil. He still wants smoke. It don't matter if he lost a couple of times. Even if you say he got KTFO'd, he's still coming right back. And like I said, even Dylan White, even though he's painting the abstract, now he wants smoke. But the ones we want to see fight, how come we not getting them? It's going to be close to a year now, right? Was October? See, November, December, January, February. So we're already 8 months. We're 8 months or more. But let me see what Derek got. Derek say salute that Eagles way of boxing. Yeah, we got him. So, what do they do? As you see, I don't know if you can see all the tears. You know who that was at Derek Bailey. The Eagles way up champ. Yeah, that's Gil. Yeah, he's probably back and forth. He's clowning. He's playing PlayStation 4 or something like that, and he'll come back and say something. He'll say something like wise or unwise because he's not getting what I'm saying about these fighters that are using, they're pretending like they want to paint like a picture to be great, to go down in greatness. And you can't make yourself great by just talking, because you got a lot of fighters that think, oh, they greater than somebody because of their mouthpiece. No, you're not greater. And plus, you didn't use your mouthpiece in the beginning to be greater. Now, if you would have said it from the beginning, from day one, if you said, I'm going to be champ, I'm going to hold on to my belt, I'm going to go undefeated and all that. If you said that, and then you would have got more respect. You see what I mean? But you go through controversy, and I'm going to tell you, the best champs are not going to be the champs that go undefeated. Those aren't going to be the best champs. Those are not ever the best champs. Those are not. And don't make me get into my subject that we had just the other day. Those are not the best champs. A person that can come back from a controversy, those are the best champs. Because you never know. It's just like, okay, I took the guy light, or I didn't fight my fight, but I'm going to show y'all how to fight him, and you come back and win. If you win every fight, then you wasn't challenged the right way. Either you wasn't challenged the right way, or you skipped some fighters you should have fought. Because we talked about that thing with the athletes and stuff. From the last show when we was talking about a lot of the athletes and, the equipment and stuff like that, and how they would let them perform or how they made them to not perform. There's a difference between a structure that keeps you from performing, and also from just you just not performing. And so we need to see Wilder, and we need to see Fury, something, because if we don't get them, we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe Wilder is going to lose. Maybe that's all over with. But you guys are see what you boxers are doing is you're taking away all the fire that we had going with you, because we was throwing fuel on the fire with you. But now we just watching the shit burn out, and we starting to get cold. And once we get cold, we gonna turn on you, because we gonna feel like you turned on us. You turned on us, so how in the hell am I not gonna turn on you? I'm gonna turn on you too, because you turned on us as fans. You turned on us. You talked all this shit because I'm gonna tell you something. If you listen to a lot of even Wilder statements, before the fight about going out with Tyson Fury and all that, I'm gonna go out with you. It's up. We're gonna go have a good time. It wasn't none of that shit. None of that shit happened. So was that verbiage? Was just talking to get people excited and stuff like that, and make you think that you was a shoe-in for the win, or what was it? And anybody can get it up in here. I don't even care. I don't care. But like I said, the fighters that should not be looking as good as they're looking, and they still might not look good to you, but Dylan White shouldn't be looking good because all that abstract shit he came up with. And we know that the PEDs and everything else, the 600, the 800 days or whatever like that, but he wants a re-up right away. And how could he get a re-up for a fight that he just had before Wilder get a re-up? I got a problem with that. Matter of fact, he's getting a re-up before a lot of fighters are even getting their first fight for 2020. That he's getting a re-up. That don't look good. And even though we know he's painting in abstract, that's why I said the finger paint. He's painting in abstract. He looks good. Ortiz looks good because Ortiz has been keeping it consistent. Matter of fact, who is Ortiz going to get to fight? Anybody going to fight him? They trying to run Ortiz out of boxing. They trying to keep from fighting Ortiz. Nobody want to fight him. Especially you imagine fighting him with no crowd. He going to beat the shit out of you. Because that's what he do. That whole fighting without a crowd thing is a lot different. It's a lot different. It's like sparring, but not. Your family ain't in there to root for you. There's nobody you can look for in the audience and none of that shit. So when you get in there, you're going to have to bang and you're going to have to fight. But these fighters at heavyweight, and we're not going to just talk heavyweight, but with these fighters that we know, heavyweight fighters, you got to get your ass in there and fight. So we can see what kind of picture are you trying to paint for the future? Because we always talk about the future of boxing, but how are we going to talk about the future of boxing when you're not making yourself part of the future? When all of a sudden you done turned from an oil painter into watercolors. Get your ass out of here. You can't compare yourself with somebody. And then your mouthpiece, now back to AJ, Almond Joy, now back to him. Now his mouthpiece, he's picking on, how old is Tyson? Like, Tyson's like 50 years old or something like that, or he's getting close. Somewhere around there. Mike Tyson, right? And you talking about, that you guys are big boys now. Y'all don't play like that. And what you'll do to Mike Tyson. Well, you should be talking about that, what you're going to do to Wilder, and then go get it done. Wilder don't have a championship now. Fight Wilder. Because we want to see, if we already talking about the best fighting the best, it's not always the best fighting. We want to see good fights. We want to see the best fights. But we need to see you get your ass in there and fight. And stop talking about somebody like a Mike Tyson. Stop talking about Mike Tyson. We don't know what Mike Tyson can do. Mike Tyson he might have some of that, he might have trauma and some shit. He might get touched and start wobbling all over the place. We don't know. But that's what you want to do as a champion of today. But you're taking the sport into the future. You're taking it into the future. What people believe in futures, I don't. I just believe it's the sun rised and set on another day. It's just generations and stuff. We just constantly got more people, coming on this earth and leaving this earth. But for the best part, I'll just say the future. So what are you doing to ensure that your legacy, because you're painting with all kinds of, you're painting on different medium, you're painting with different kinds of paints, and you just can't nobody follow your painting. All of you got this finger painting shit, because if a child brought home a finger paint, their very first finger paint that they bring home to Derek Bailey, his baby bring home a finger paint. What's gonna happen when you see it? You feel what is gonna happen when you see that finger paint? And I had already asked this. Are you gonna say, "Oh, baby, that's so cute. What? That's so nice. Let me hang it up over here." That's probably what most adults gonna say. But you got some crazy ass adults with their kids. What is it, baby? It's you. And you look at them like, that shit ain't me. Or they say it's a bird. They say it's a bird. And it should look like an octopus, but it's a bird. Or whatever, because they finger painting. Or just doing the little hand painting or whatever. Because they just doing like this. That's finger painting. Finger painting ain't just using one finger. You don't get, most little babies ain't smart enough to go like that and actually make grass and all that stuff finger painting. Finger painting, they just put their hands in some paint and they just go like this. And you got to figure it out. And that's what they're doing with us in this boxing right now. Everybody's putting their hands in some paint and we got to figure it out. The next conclusive fight that we having right now that I could say is not even the Lomachenko fight. It's the Errol Spence fight. Because we still, if Loma win or lose, we still going to have to hear about him. Even if he lose, well, maybe he'll become a warrior and ask for the re-up. Right? But those are things we got to look forward to. So we got the Loma fight that's coming up. And we covered the fights that we want to see. We got the Davis fight coming up, which I'm interested to see what kind of picture he's going to paint. Is he going to start getting more fights now? We talked about Dubois. Now Dubois is supposed to be fighting who? Joyce. Everybody's looking at it as being a blowout, a KTFO. But I'm gonna tell you something, Eagles Web warriors out there, is you guys predicted 4 KTFOs and you got 2. So you guys are not 51-50, but you guys are 50-50 right now on the KTFOs. Because Jamal Charlo didn't get the KTFO, right? Jermell Charlo got the KTFO, right? Ennis got the KTFO. But who was the 4th one who didn't get the KTFO? So it was 4 of them. It was Ennis, the 2 Charlos, and then who was the last one that didn't get the KTFO? Y'all, I forgot who y'all's 4th fighter was, but another one of y'all fighters. Let me try to replay. Okay, so Mel, Maul, Boots. Okay, so one more. What was it? Who was it didn't get the K? I think he fought not on the same card like the week before. Who was that? Did not get the KTFO. So it was another fighter. Y'all need to tell me who it was. I forgot. But anyway, y'all's 50-50. Regardless if I can remember who the other fighter was, y'all still 50-50. Because it's probably on the tip of my brain, just hanging there like, hey, I'm right here. And I'm just not, because I'm trying to talk. So a lot of times when you're trying to talk and think about other stuff, then your back thought, you can't think about it. Yeah. But you guys were not consistent. But let me see. If I can look through here, maybe I'll see it on here. Okay, Mel, Maul. And who else? Who else was fighting and did not get the KTFO? Nope. Wasn't Williams, wasn't J-Rock, wasn't a heavyweight. Yeah. But anyway, I'll think of it later for myself and then I'll share it, which I'm not. Yeah, I see y'all saluting at each other out. Yeah, D to the baby come in talking about facts. But Gil come in talking about crap. Ortiz need to check his oil. Stop it, man. Stop it. Is the oil lights on? I don't know, man. I don't know if his oil light is on. He well lube. But look here, Gil. What you're doing is you're help. When you say stuff like that, Gil, what you're doing is you're actually helping out somebody like Ortiz. You helping him out, brother. Thanks for the help. That's what he's gonna tell you. Thanks for the help. Because the more people put Ortiz down, the bigger the bigger he really is. He's actually bigger when you guys put him down like that. He's actually bigger. Because everybody wants to put him down. That makes him bigger. Sorry. You might have wanted it to be another way, yeah, but he's bigger when you put him down like that. Sorry. He is. That's just the way it is. He's bigger when you put him down. But because he consistently wants that picture back. He wants that championship at the end of his rainbow. And I did read your comment when you said that Wilder needs the KTFO because he's not going to get a decision. I can see that happening if Wilder doesn't change a few things. Wilder does not have to change a lot. Because remember, boxers are supposed to be able to adapt to different styles. You ain't supposed to be, oh, I try to, he's a puncher, I'm trying to teach him how to box. That should have already been part of it. Because if you fought any bit of amateur, then you had to box. Because they frown at power punching. They want you to land that part of the glove. That's it. Right? So I don't want to hear that, that somebody outbox somebody and all that. No, you're more athletic than go in there and outbox his ass. For somebody that boxes, then you don't box with them. Don't box with them. Don't allow them to box. And see, even with our last fight with Jamal Charlo, what happens is the reason he won in such a spectacular form is that Dichenko is what happened is he kept him at a good distance to beat him. Dichenko's best chance would have been mid-range because he could have landed more and he could have escaped more power. If you're at mid-range, you can escape some of the power by just little movements and stuff. Because see the hands here, mid-range, the arm is here when they're throwing a punch. If you're right there, you're mid-range, right? So mid. But so the lead, so if you stand like that, so the lead's here. So mid-range, you're like in here. You're not close, like this is, in the pocket there right here, but you're mid-range. So you're here. But if you're way on the outside, if you're outside of that snap, see, but you're here. So there's less power. I can't hit you as hard if you're right there. And yes, I come out real fast and just turn your whole body with the punch or something like that. But he did that a little bit, but he just couldn't do it. He couldn't consistently do it. And that's what it is. So Gil, we'll say that, Ortiz need to check his oil. You're going to need to check your chin, though. Freaking Gil. Man, Gil's always, that's my little nuisance. He always been that way. That damn Gil. Gil coming with all this shit. Tell me Ortiz. Ortiz that took bumps and everything else. Yeah, Wilder took bumps too. So, and I know a lot of you are going to big up Wilder and stuff like that. But I don't know how good Wilder could be staying out of boxing so long, because some people naturally just have a better skill set. So what is his picture gonna look like at the end? And all these questions are gonna be answered, man. All these questions are gonna be answered. Just like if we take D to the Bailey, if we took a person right now, let's go back. And the way I was explaining this is that a lot of people say you can't do hypotheticals. Yeah, okay, hypothetical. You can't, but you can. You can do hypotheticals and be accurate with them. But sometimes you got to be so ridiculous with them that you can't help. It's going to be accurate. Like, well, shit, that's accurate. I can't. Right? It's just like, say for instance, there's the great basketball player. You know, I'm just using great. I don't know if any of these guys are necessarily great, but I just use the terms that everybody else uses, like Michael Jordan, for instance. So he became a slam dunk champion, right? But what would have been the chances of him becoming slam dunk champion if he never wanted to wear the Nikes or whatever, the Air Jordans? He never wanted to wear those during the slam dunk contest. That he wanted to wear frogman slippers instead. The flippers. You know, the frogman flippers, the fins. He wanted to wear those instead of wearing any kind of, you know, basketball shoe or anything like that. What's the chances that he would have become slam dunk champ, even against, let's say for instance, could he have been slam dunk champ even against Stephen Curry if he wore frogman flippers or scoop? You know, I don't forget. We just call them flippers, right? If he wore those, what's his chances? So you can have scenarios where you can put together to where, you know, it could be from different eras or whatever like that and be consistent. But you have to make it ridiculous sometimes because people just don't get it. Oh, well, that's just speculation and shit like that. Everything ain't speculation. I mean, you could say it's speculation, but is it really speculation? Okay, if you're driving a car with no steering wheel, and you going 100 miles an hour, is it speculatory that you're going to crash, or is your ass just, are you going to crash? Eventually, you're going to crash. Right? No matter what happens to you afterwards, you're going to crash. As simple as that. So, I mean, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I look at different ways to be able to compare stuff. And sometimes you got to compare stuff and you got to be ridiculous in order to compare it. But a lot of people say, oh, well, that's just speculation. It's not always speculation, even though we could say it's speculation. We could say such and such would have beat such and such. But we have to paint the picture together. You know what I mean? Because we have to put them on like even terms. That's the only way you can do it, if you have to put them on even terms. And you have to look at what they've done and stuff like that. And it still becomes like speculatory, but in some cases, some stuff is just like as obvious. Because I talked about like the Muhammad Ali and stuff like that. Who even today is even as fast as Muhammad Ali as a heavyweight? Who has his skill set? Tyson Fury, people say is better or whatever. Tyson Fury, and like I said, I'm going to put eras together because Tyson Fury would have got his ass knocked out in Ali's era for sure. And you still got fighters just fighting today that would tell you. They fought back then. They would tell you who was the biggest puncher and what would have happened. Because the thing about, this is the thing about athletes that actually fight or actually are in a certain sport. This is the thing that's different than fans. The fighters and stuff, they can see it. They know. They can see it. They're looking at your ass different than a fan is. They know. Because guess what? Their eyesight is different than yours. Their hearing is different than yours. Right? It's just like I heard one of the fighters say that during the interview, an older fighter, I don't know if it's Al Cole or not. Is that your cousin, Gil? Al Cole? Remember Al Cole? Was he cruiserweight, right? Or light heavyweight? Or cruiserweight. I believe it's cruiserweight. Al Cole, yeah. But if you listen to some of the older fighters, they'll say who they would want to fight today and stuff like that. And they're not gonna match themselves out. They're gonna match themselves out with somebody who is, like a good match for them. They're not gonna match themselves up with somebody they gonna just blow out, but they would want that kind of work from certain fighters. Like, I want that work. I would have loved to have that kind of work. Now, why you think the older fighters would say that they would love to have that kind of work? You don't have the young fighters saying they would have loved to have the work, some certain work. And yes, they fronting. You don't even have them, even because George Foreman won when he was like 45 years old, heavyweight champ. You don't have people saying, oh yeah, I would have wanted to fight George in his prime. No, you don't have people saying stuff like that. Oh yeah, Ali in his prime, I would have wanted to fight him. You know, hey, you're lying. Stop lying to yourself. Oh, Thomas Hearns as welterweight, yeah, I would have wanted to fight him in his prime. As welterweight saying something like that, no. They'll be lying. There's no way. Because the person I was going to bring up is like, okay, at light heavyweight, within the last, let's say we'll go last 9 years, or last 8 years. Within the last 8 years, what would have been a great light heavyweight matchup for even Michael Spinks? Michael Spinks, the Spinks Jinx. So who would have been like a great matchup for him? Who would have beaten him in the last 8 years? Yeah, you finally made a good observation, Gil, and I can appreciate that one. Finally, you wipe your damn tears. He said, "Can't wait to see how EJ looked versus Danny." Me either. I'm kind of antsy about that fight. I'm kind of anxious for the fight, but hey, whatever happens, gonna happen. Whatever happens, Eagles way up. You know, I know people get mad. Probably people probably got rid of Eagle because they like, Eagle. He too hard on the fighters, man. He gonna flip flop or change up. No, I can't flip flop and change up on you because guess what? Since I do this, I can't really, to myself personally, I can have my own favorite and stuff like that, or I can favor somebody. I usually don't want to call it like that, but we got to see the fight. But I will call it. I'm saying that Earl, the best possibility is going to be Earl. If you're going to bet on this fight, bet on Earl. Because I think it was a car accident. I don't think it was a boxing accident. And people don't think, oh yeah, a car accident. No, as long as his hands and shit and feet and everything moving, I mean, it's boxing. It's an accident. He had to do a little bit of rehab and stuff like that, but he's right back to boxing. It's back to boxing. That's all it is. They can go for any sport, man. Somebody get in an accident, and they playing basketball, they come back. They're like, oh shit, I got hurt. I just got to do my rehab. Now I'm back at it. Now, we would have liked to see him maybe do a warm-up or something like that. A lot of people. But if he wants to go and get it, then he really's feeling himself like, man, nah, I'm not going to. See, and that's what we was just talking about. The ones that's finger painting and the ones that's painting with oil. Earl is painting with oil. He said, you know what, I'm not even going to take. I mean, people expect me. Because, see, that's what people expect. People expect me to take, 2-3 tune-ups or something like that. I'm not gonna do it. I feel good. It was just a car accident. It wasn't a boxing accident. So we'll see. We gotta see. We gotta see what Tank looked like. We gotta see what Loma looked like. A lot of fights. We gotta see what they look like. They've been out, and we know Loma come in all fast and all that shit. But we'll see. Bring your ass in there all quick and doing this, all these little angles and shit. His angles, like I said, all that leaping shit around, somebody should be able to get him. These people they don't get how to get people. Yeah. You got, like I said, you got to be able to get them. They want to get you, then you got to be able to get them. There's no other way around it. If you have an excuse already manufactured in, I don't want to mess with you. Because here's the thing with Earl Spence. If it really is something that's wrong. Now, I can't give him a break. I would have given him a break. But you know what happened? Is a lot of people kept asking him if he needs some kind of a break or something, or tune-ups and shit like that. And very boisterously, he declined. Like, no, I got this, son. Okay, so if you got this, son, then that's what we have to see. Because you got this, son. You said it. I got this, man. Don't worry about it. I'm going to handle my business. So, if come back to, like, the accident is starting to bother you or some shit, like, oh, yeah, this accident shit, then we're not going to want to hear it because you already said that you was cool. So now you're going to have to just, instead of ducking out or getting out of boxing, which you can do that if it's that traumatic, you're going to have to come back and get that re-up. I see down there, y'all sir Hussein is up in the house. Salute to him. He came in, he said salute to Eagle in the chat. That's right. Y'all sir up in here. And D to the belly, make sure I'm getting my thumbs up, man. I think one or two of y'all shorted me like not too long, man. Y'all put the hate out on Eagle, man. Don't be putting the hate out on me, man. Especially when we have a smaller chat like this. Don't be shorting me. This, I don't know. I feel like I want to yawn or something. But you yawn, then make everybody else yawn. Why am I yawning? So, I was talking to somebody sometime about yawning not too long ago. I said, man, you sitting there yawning. I said, you make people yawn when you yawn. And I thought I was immune to it. I was like, I'm not gonna yawn though, not me. But you can get somebody else. Shit, before I knew it, I was yawning. I'm like, shit, now I'm yawning. But that's a good one coming up. So we got that. So we got to see what Earl gonna do. We got to see what Tank gonna do. We got to see what these heavyweights gonna do, and we're gonna see not just the heavyweights painting their picture, but we got to see everybody else paint their picture. You got to paint your picture too. So if you're gonna start off with oil, then stay with oil. Don't switch over the colors and gray and all that other shit, and stop trying to trick us. And stop trying to so-called clout chase or whatever else. Because I'm telling you right now, Gil Coles, that I do not believe that Sean Porter wants to fight Jermell Charlo on some shit that he's just thinking, oh, I got this. Not when he done fought Ugas and other fighters where it was controversy or he done lost. I just don't see that. I see it just like what I said with Dylan White and everybody else, is they want to try to consistently stay with that oil painting. But then again, Sean switched over on us too. But that's a gray area, right? Because he got a mandatory. But he fought like some German, some German guy that he couldn't put to sleep. Beat him up pretty good. Won pretty decent, pretty handily, but couldn't. Come on now. Styles make fights, but come on, I don't know. You ain't beating Mel. There's too many fighters that you didn't decisively beat. You beat the ones like you was supposed to. Like the leaping overhand, you beat Polly and stuff like that, but no. But AJ, your painting for your future is very flawed. It don't look good. Tyson Fury, your painting for your future is very flawed. It don't look good. Deontay Wilder, your painting for your future is flawed. It don't look good. Dylan White, your painting for your future is flawed. It's abstract, but it's starting to look better than a lot of other people's picture. Because you're at least saying, or you're at least making that act as if you want to get your smoke back. You want to get the re-up. And so that's making you look good. And you're going to get a re-up before two fighters get a re-up that fought before you. You're making yourself look good, but at the same time, I don't know. Over there, you're gonna look good, but over here, people still ain't gonna respect that. Ortiz, your championship, even if you don't get your championship, your painting is still looking good. Because like I said, you took those two, you took those two bumps, which Gil said you took the EJ Mikey twice. I'm not gonna agree with that, but you took, you did get, you lost. Put it that way. If Porter trained for 154, he got a chance. Porter always got a chance. Porter got a chance, but do you want to see Porter versus Jermell? Or do you want to see Jermell go ahead and get, finish getting his straps? Because I don't want nobody in here sounding like no hater, like, oh yeah, Porter should be able to get that smoke. I don't want nobody sounding like they're a hater. 2 bumps in the road, Gil. 2 bumps in the road. Yeah. But I don't want to hear nobody, and I don't want to see nobody in here hating on Jermell to where he can't go get undisputed. Just so Sean can get his ass up in there. Huh? Now, why was Sean fighting to get a mandatory spot if he want to fight Jermell? That shit don't sound right, man. It's inconsistent. Get your ass out of here with that, man. Come on now. Nobody want Mel to shine. People hate Mel, man. Y'all, I'm starting to catch a little bit of whiff of that in Eagles too, man. In Eagles web, I'm starting to get that people don't like Mel. They might like Maul a little bit better, but they don't like them. They don't like them Lions only. They don't like that. Oh, man, I don't like people that's boastful like that and all. Well, they alpha males, man. Let them. If they want to be, they have to run their own promotion also. You got to realize that. So they got to be a little bit more outspoken. They can't be all reserved. That's like Mayweather promotions too. Mayweather got to get out and talk. Golden Boy, he got to get his ass out there and talk. You have to talk when you promoting shit, man. If I promote, I got to talk. You can't be a silent promoter and shit. How you gonna have a Ziploc mouth and you trying to promote? And your shit is all zipper tight. You sound like mumbles and shit. They're like, what is he promoting? What is he saying? Nobody know what the hell you saying, man. You gotta get your words out, man. So it is what it is when it comes to these fighters that do their own promotions and stuff. You know what I mean? So no, I'll jump off the heavyweights and talk about now. We can talk about now. I'll bring it up myself. What about Bud? So what does his picture look like? Is he consistent? Is he staying with oil? And Gil, you better not. I'll time your ass out if you say yes or whatever, because I done read too many of your statements during these shows where you done jumped on Bud and say that he's fighting, Jeff from Tire Shop or something else like that. So stop it. Don't even come in here and say something. So y'all keep it consistent. So if he's making all the right moves, then somebody let me know. Because that's what it's going to boil down to in this boxing in the first place, is with this painting, or no matter how I say it, who is doing the right moves in order to get where they need to go in boxing today. Matter of fact, there's nobody that's 100%. And I'm gonna tell you why they're not 100% is because they've had like some hard things happen in their road to success in boxing. Everybody's had something to happen, whether it's your fault or not your fault. Like with Jamal, it's not his fault that he's not fighting Canelo. And a lot of people think Canelo will still win. They'll say he's gonna win. And that's what I don't get. If you're a fan of somebody, how come you can't reach out to them? Just tell them, oh, as a fan, Canelo, we want to see you. You need to go fight Maul. We need to see that next, man. Well, okay. Well, you don't care for Brooke versus Bud, but let's look at it. Let's look at it. Not the fight, but let's look at what our subject is in the first place. So, if our subject is how are you making yourself look for the future? Are you finger painting? So is Bud more or less right now? Anybody who's in it, is he finger painting? or is he painting a masterpiece for his legacy? So that's the question. Is Bud painting a masterpiece for his future in boxing, for his legacy, or is he kind of finger painting? Is he finger painting or kind of finger painting? Do we got a little bit of mud in his painting, watercolors, or is he consistent with that oil? It's about that oil. Is he consistent with the oil, or is he on some other shit? $154. Was Harrison consistent with his oil and calling people cornballs and stuff like that? Was J-Rock consistent? Right? Was Jared Hurd consistent? And this is just at 154. You know what I mean? At welterweight, who's consistent? We don't have no consistency because guess what? Even Manny's effing up. And like I said, I took his ass down from Face of Boxing because Manny is talking about fighting McGregor or something like that. You need to fight somebody in the top 10. We don't like it. We don't really care about that because we want you to fight somebody in the top 3 or 4. And we might be able to excuse you for McGregor. I can't excuse his ass. I'm just saying we, because I'm looking at that shit. That shit is a straight up money grab. And Derek Bailey say finger painting. That's all he doing, finger painting. He's not painting no picture to be great. These fighters are not painting that picture and shit. We're not gonna look back and look at the murals and shit like, oh yeah, he was a great fighter. How many fighters do we call great today from the past, even if they lost? How many fighters do we call? Hundreds, huh? For some people, it might be over 100 fighters you call great. Was Roberto Duran great? He had some bumps and shit. He had shit that happened, but was he great? He was beating people that we didn't think he was going to actually beat. He destroyed fighters that we didn't think that was too big for him and didn't think he was going to destroy. Remember, Iran Barkley? Damn. People like that, you figure it's just too heavy-handed and stuff like that. This is a perfect style for him, though. No special effects and shit like that. If Iran Barkley had special effects, then yeah, maybe so. Same thing with Tommy Hearns. Was Tommy Hearns great or good? Or how was he? How did he paint his picture? He's all over all kinds of divisions. That might have hurt him. Roy Jones, same thing. All kinds of divisions, up and down, and it might have hurt him, but we still call them great, right? Sugar Ray Leonard. Are we still calling him great? Yeah, we still call him great, right? Up and down and some controversy, but he's still great. Matter of fact, Julian Jackson, ups and downs a little bit, but we still call him great, right? Larry Holmes, a lot of ups and downs, but it was just bullshit and stuff, but we still call him great. Yeah, Thurman consistent, but Thurman was taking breaks before the Roro. He's consistently on some bullshit, Gil. He's not consistent enough, man. You don't get elective surgery and shit to take away from your momentum on some bullshit. Forget that shit. You fight. And he needs to get in there with somebody. Just like all the rest of them, they need to get in there with somebody. But I'm just saying, there's fighters that we call great from back. I mean, even Lennox Lewis, they might call him great. He has some controversies. Mike Tyson, a lot of people might call him great. He has some controversials, right? Controversial situations with a lot of these fighters, but we still call them great. But they didn't really paint themselves into that corner. But a lot of these fighters now are just painting like that. Like Broner, like I said, Broner started off with oil paint and had everybody all excited. Oh yeah, Broner. And then Broner started with that gray shit. All of a sudden his shit just turned gray. Like we didn't know what he's doing. Like what? I can't make that out. What is that? Is that a color? That's kind of gray. He made this whole gray area for himself, but he's talking in color. His actions, he's painting in gray, but he's talking in color. A lot of these fighters is fighting, they talking like they are oil painters, but they just watercolors. A lot of them talking. Even Ruiz went in there. Because Ruiz went in there, he was painting with, he's painting with oil at first. And people was believing him, oh yeah, that one, the Parker fight, maybe, yeah, I think he probably still won that one too or whatever. And, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he got AJ out of there. He's still painting oil. And all of a sudden he goes in there again and he leaves all of his oil paints at home. And he go in there and get done up by the oldest, one of the oldest tricks in the books, playground trick, to tag the fat boy and move and run. And so he gets that pulled on his ass. That's not oil. That's all watercolor. His shit turned the watercolors, but he's still talking in oil. So get your ass out of here. You know what I mean? So ain't none of them consistent like that. They're consistent if their record is showing that they're consistent. Even Mikey. So we get, like I said, we don't have to talk about just the heavyweights. Well, what about Mikey Garcia? Wasn't he talking like he was an oil painter? Oh yeah, I'm gonna oil him up. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. You ain't gonna do shit. What happened to you? What happened to Ama? What happened to all that shit? What happens when these fighters start talking about the Ama? I'ma do this. You ain't gonna do shit. You end up not doing nothing. When you start talking about the Ama my ass. You ain't gonna do nothing. And that's end up what happened to him. And now he's back. He's not even really oil painting no more. He finally got his ass back in there after that EJ Mikey smash down they got put on him. They put the EJ Mikey smash, and he comes back and he don't even look good. It's like, but now he's a see, and that's what I'm like. See, these fighters, they turn from fighters when they still in their prime. They still should be fighting, and now they just want to just call shots, commentate and shit like that. Oh yeah, I think he'll beat him, and he'll be. Get out of here with that shit. You supposed to be just fighting, and stop calling fighters that's at your level. Call somebody else. Stop calling fighters at your level, because you sound like you, like I said before, you sound like you hating. You sound like you hating. If you are at a weight division and you're just commentating, then you hating. If not, get your ass in there and fight. Oh, Earl don't hit hard. You hating. Earl don't hit hard, but you folding up like a shrimp. Shut your ass up. And we're going to see if Earl hit hard. And we're going to see if Earl is so basic, because Danny Garcia thinks that Earl just basic. Oh, he ain't nothing special. He's basic. Okay, so if you basically get your ass whooped, and then what we going to say then? So basically, you better win against somebody who's just basic. Right? And this is all the divisions. We got, I don't even know how many divisions. Like I said, 154 is the only like fighting division. They fight their ass off at 154. Everybody want to fight. Yeah, I'll fight you. And they really don't care. Their pictures are, like I said, they still got some controversial painters in there, but at least they'll get in there and fight. Like, I don't care. You got to knock me out. But at least, don't you want a division where people say, at least, yeah, you got to knock my ass out, rather than just hiding around like, okay, I'll skip him right now, duck him, do this and that. No, get your ass in there and fight, man. No, so do we have to go back to the late 1700s? Or the 1800s? Do we have to go back there where the seconds? Remember I told you all about the seconds? So now we got to go back. And that was on my other computer too, man. I saved that. What I was going to do, man, I forgot the name of the damn thing, man. But I got to get my other computer running. And it's probably still on the hard drive or whatever. And because it was a good site, man. I cannot find it again, because it was like a private site, but they had a lot of stuff in there, like the online books and all that, where you could look back in the history of boxing and stuff like that. And I was saving it for y'all, and then something happened to my damn computer. Like, oh shit, here we go. Because like I said, I always want to test something out. I want to give y'all something. Y'all, this is way I like it. And same thing with this book company. But if I can get all this stuff recovered, don't worry about it. We'll still get it, man. And plus, I'm gonna stay consistent. I'm gonna give y'all what I give you. We gonna always get the real. We always gonna, not just some deal in here. And like I said, it's gonna be a grown folks conversation. It's not gonna be no dumb shit. It's gonna be a grown folks conversation with the exception of Gil every once in a while saying something, this wild out. But that's Gil. That's what he do. He say something wild out, just like my medicine man always saying something that's wild out. I'm like, where he coming from? It's like, just say something that's wild out. But these fighters got to get their ass in there and fight. Stop all the hiding out and stop making all the excuses and stop fighting fighters that's not on your level or fighters you think is, it lost a step. That's the worst thing that you can do in boxing is fight a fighter that you felt lost a couple of steps or a step. Because then now you're not putting yourself at that championship level. Yeah. Because we can always pick on fighters that don't have it no more. But look at Manny. Manny still got it. Manny older, and everybody talking about he lost a step and all that, but he's still whooping ass. But he's doing dumb shit now. But he's older, so a lot of people will excuse him. Oh, well, he did everything he had to do in boxing, which is true. If you've done everything you did in boxing, you need to get your ass out. Oh my goodness! Here go Gil. Now Gil is calling. Now Gil saying that Danny's gonna stop Earl in the 10th round. Does anybody in here believe that? Anybody who's on the floor down here, anybody with the web, does anybody believe that Danny's gonna stop Earl in 10? Anybody besides Gil? Because his little heart been touched. He's like, oh yeah, I think Danny go get him. And it's just that I don't know if that's because of Keith hate, because Keith lost, so now he want Earl to lose. I don't know what that is. But does anybody believe what Gil's saying? That Danny stops Earl in the 10th round? And who else has Danny stopped in it? What other top 4 welterweight has Danny stopped? And I'll wait. The top 4 welterweights, out of the top 4 welterweights, who has Danny stopped? And top 4, who has he stopped? See, Gil just trying to clear. See, Yasser, you done made his day, man, because it's late over there where Yasser is at. Yasser is over there in the it's dark right now. He like, it's probably 10 o'clock at night over there where Yasser is at. 10, 11 o'clock at night. And then he got to sit there and read what Gil write. And he said F no, and he crying. Now, Gil made you laugh, I know, because he's a comedian. That's his job, is to come in and make everybody laugh. That's his damn job, is he come in and make everybody laugh. So I had to give him a native name. So I had to give Gil Coles a native name, you know what I mean? And that's what we'll call him too. We'll just call him, we'll just call him Laughing Man, or Man Make Laughter. That would be his name, Man Make Laughter. That's a crazy name, Man Make Laughter. In other words, he's a joke. And see now he want to pick on you, y'all. So he tells you to go to bed. But who do we have, y'all? As far as like trustworthy fighters that's gonna keep it consistent and keep their level up consistently. So that's the whole thing. We have one fighter that is actually, like we already talked about him, he's probably the only one that can do this right now, and Gil's kind of hating on him. Gil just a hater, man. Gil, you got a lot of hate in your system. And that's Jermell Charlo is the most destined fighter at this moment. That he can become the most destined fighter in this moment if he can get this last belt out the way. For me, it's not important, but I know a lot of people want that to happen. They the belt, you have to get that WBO or whatever. Go on to get the WBO. But once he gets the WBO, I don't even know what's left for him. I really don't know. Because is he going to fight Williams? What does that look like? Is he gonna fight Lubin? What does that look like? We've seen what it looked like before, but a lot of people think, oh yeah, Lubin, he's more mature now, like as if Mel didn't get mature, also. Okay, I'm bigger and strong. I'm stronger now, more mature now, but so you're belittling the guy that beat you by you're acting like you're all this, but he's not. So who do we have? Who does he fight? Does he fight Harrison again? Does he fight J-Rock? Does he fight Hurd? Does he fight Laura? Who does he fight? Who do we care if he fights? Does he need to fight anybody else? Can he just go ahead and get out? He can get out of boxing before his brother. He can go ahead and retire. Or he can move up to 160. He can take his ass up to 160. And then there's nobody he won't be able to fight his brother. And maybe one of those guys up there get brave enough to fight him. That we don't even know about that. We won't even know about that. Gil Cole so just called me Silky Johnson. Silky Johnson. Next person say something. What's Silky Johnson? He said next person to interrupt me is getting shot. Believe that. That's Silky Johnson. Yeah, old Silky. Who won the oh yeah. Not let me see. Buck Nasty, Silky Johnson. See, I'm just the balls. You know, everybody here has to have some kind of flashback to Dave Chappelle or other shows and stuff. And of course I go with it too. Yeah. Because the winner was Silky Johnson, who was Dave Chappelle, was the player hater. That's Gil. In other words, Gil say that he's Silky Johnson. He letting y'all know, laughing my ass off. He letting y'all know that he a hater. Gil letting everybody know. Hey, yes, right. I'm throwing some hate out. I'm throwing this hate out there, man. Shit, because I'm Silky Johnson. I'm Silky Johnson with it, y'all. Yeah. So Gil Silky Johnson with it. And we'll let him go ahead and be Silky Johnson. Play haters. Talking about everybody. Yeah. Yasser Hussein say fight Mandos and make some money. That Undisputed is a good marketing tool. There you go. But see, the reason I keep saying that anyway, Yasser, the reason I was saying that about Mel is because Mel is in the position that nobody else is in right now. He can really make himself the face. The face. Because guess what? When you're calling somebody a champ, this is the only thing that they can say right now when it comes to champions. They can say, oh, the WBC champ, the IBF champ, the IBF and WBA champ, the WBO champ. That's all they can say. But when it comes to him, they have to say the undisputed champion of the world, the only undisputed champion of the world, Jermell Charlo. See? And that's gonna ring, that rings a different tone. But my little brother Hater right there, the Hurricane, he got how many nicknames he got? Yeah, he who makes laugh. Yeah, laughing man. Yeah, he who makes laugh. That's his native. He got a native name now. Yeah, laughing. We call him Laughing Duck. That's yeah, you know how them ducks. You know, duck. Which one? Who's the Laughing Duck? Is that Daffy or Donald? I don't know. I think it's Daffy. Laughing Duck, Hurricane Gil, Drizzle for Gizzle, and drizzle is just like a small storm, like it's barely raining. That's drizzle. Drizzle for Jizzle, that's for Gil. Or Silky Johnston. He's Silky Johnston. He hater. Straight hate. Say hate. That's Gil. Gil is on that hate stuff. Now, y'all, so you might not know about that, but you gonna have to check it out. Yeah. Gil's stupid. But like I said, males in that position. Nobody else is in that position right now. And I'm just like I said, I don't want to like be on somebody's side like that. But it would be nice to see that he can get the undisputed and see what that does with boxing. Because we need somebody to step. You understand? We need somebody to step up so we can see where boxing can go or where it's gonna go. We got to be able to see that, man. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If we can see it, then we're okay with it. But if we can't, then it's like we don't know what to do. If we're the same. We're in the same boat when we're just sitting back going, I guess they can fight, but we're gonna have to see what to do or whatever. They got us in a position to where we have to just look at each other like this, like, oh no, and that they're messing us up, man. They're messing us up with that shit. Get your ass in there and fight. Let us see the top fights or either good fights. We want to see like good fights. I want to see like great fights. So if your top name, I'm not talking about good fights to where we're watching number 19 fight number 20. It's gonna look good, but the skill set ain't gonna be there. But I'm saying good fights to where, top 10s are in there like banging, like, oh, wow, that was a good fight. You know what I mean? Or fight somebody to go somewhere, because remember, we're talking about that. Right now, you're finger painting. You're just like putting your fingers in all kinds of globs of paint, and you're just painting. You're not painting your pictures. So if you're going to paint your picture in this boxing, then paint one so we can follow along like, oh, yes, good. Yeah, he's doing good right now. Boom, 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 like that. So we can see where you want to go with the boxing, instead of just because it's already almost too late now, because everybody made it into like a money grab. You feel me? So if you made it into a money grab, it's just not gonna work. It's probably not gonna work for you if that's all you're using it for. It's just to get paid. Well, it's a business for me. Of course, boxing is a business. But on the top of that business, we want to see champions too. We don't just want to feed into your business. Like, oh yeah, he's a good fighter. And because a lot of times we get these journeymen and stuff like that, we get fighters that fought good, like, oh yeah, he fought good, but he's never a champion. And we've actually had fighters that fought good and weren't champions that probably in another era would have been champion. You know what I mean? Because Gil fighting in any era would have just been a clown. He would have just been a hater. He would have just been Silky Johnston at any, no matter. If he took the time, what's it called, time haters? If he took the time machine back in time, he'd still just be a hater. He's just hating. That's what he do. That's what he do, y'all. He's just a hater. The Gil hater. The hate Shakai. Oh, Gil. Yeah, you silly, man. Yeah. Hate. But we're in good positions right now, man, not us, but these guys are in good positions, man. We got to see where they're going to take them, though. That's all we can do. See where they take them. Are you guys going to take the boxing to where we need you to take it? Or are you going to just drag us down and take... Because here's one idea. Is that they are going to, if they keep doing this shit, even the hardcore boxing fan is not going to be so hardcore anymore. If they just keep giving us bad performances, making up excuses, don't want to fight, postponing fights for 3 months at a time. 3 months, then another 3 months. I see you down there, Sir to the Flame, coming here at the end of the show. Look at Sir to the Flame. Salute to him. He said, salute to Eagles Web. Salute to the chat. As always, jab that like button. All y'all neck. He said, don't get neck in Eagles Web. Boxing 100 with the glove up and the weapons crossed with the fire, baby. Sir Flame said, they tried to hold me late at work today. Yeah, look at him holding you late, man. You always got to watch replays, man. And D to the Bailey, I don't even know if he in here, man. I asked him to check my count, man. I should have had some thumbs up, man. I should have at least 7 thumbs up. At least 7. More would be nice, but I should at least have at least 7 from my mods. I don't care. All these other people that come in and out, you see, y'all got them so scared they don't even want to say nothing when they come in and out. They go, let me sneak, let me go in and see what Eagle talking about. Okay, I'm out. Then they just leave. I told them this, but it can't be better not be my family, because I told them to at least, well, it might be them. I told them to say, at least say peace, and I told them to, yeah, it should be 7, at least 7, or maybe it should have been 6, but I thought it should have been at least been 7. I think somebody holding out on me, sir. That's how they do. You know, because I got old hating ass, my little hating brother up in here, Gil, up in here hating and shit on everybody. He hating on Ortiz. And, well, like I said, we got the Wilder question mark. But they need to get in there and get some shit done, man. We got the EJ question mark, but at least he's about to get it done. Now, we can question the brother, but he may get it done. He's not going to not try to get it done. He's going to try to go get it done. And that's all we can ask of any fighter. I mean, all we can do is ask that they, come out here and be consistent and try to elevate themselves, because all this finger painting shit is not getting us nowhere. And you can start off with your oil paint, like, okay, I'm painting a picture. This is going to be my legacy. When I get to the end of my career, I'm going to look like this. And everybody going to be talking about me. You know what you're going to be known as? You're going to be known as a good, I'm giving y'all the narrative that they use. This is what they use. They're going to say that you're a good fighter. They're going to say in your own right. What the hell does that really mean? He was a good fighter in his own right. A good fighter on his own right. Somebody break that down and tell me what the hell does that mean? And you had like older commentaries, like commentators from back in the day. They used to call fighters great. Even the fighters that they fought, they say, oh, he's a great champion. See, they call each other great champions. Now, even today, who's calling each other a great champion? See, the hate is there. The Gil is there. I might start calling hate the Gil Coles. The Gil Cole syndrome is the hate, the Silky Johnson. Silky Johnson. That's making me laugh. I don't even. I'm actually holding it deep in. Y'all just don't know how. When he said that Silky Johnston, because I remember that whole thing with the Silky Johnston, man. He's killing me with that, man. Hey, I got the. Oh, I showed y'all this. Yeah, I'm gonna start wearing this. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Okay, I got my 6. Okay, I read that. Salute. Y'all salute now. Salute. I always, y'all say I always smash the like button before I even jump in the chat. That's how, yeah, sir, you doing it the right way. You doing it the right way, sir. That's what I said, mate. I said hit the like button, then hit live. But you got some dumbasses that hit live and then they don't see the like button. No, I'm in live. If the like button is not on live, you got to hit that first. And I give him a double salute because he said it the right way. He said I always hit that shit before I even come in. And people be missing it. Hit that damn button before you bring your ass up in here. Stop killing the damn thing. Sir Flame said Floyd says that a lot. And said Bud didn't have enough meaningful fights. Maybe to justify the cherry picks at Sir Flame. That's it. Justify the cherry picks. But yeah, but nobody's really calling nobody a great. So he's a great champion. I mean, I've heard like Floyd have said stuff like that during his boxing career. I've actually heard him use the word great. And a lot of times he says, or he might say that somebody is a good competitor. Every once, I think I might have heard him say great competitor sometime. But most people don't call each other a great champ. Like you'll hear like a George Foreman will call like an ex-champ a great champ. Lennox Lewis will call somebody a great fighter or a great champ. Holyfield will call people great, but not as much. Holyfield, it's hard to get great out of Holyfield. But a lot of the other fighters will call fighters a great champion or something like that because it's not, because boxing there's a lot of people in boxing. People miss a lot of people misunderstand in boxing is a lot of the fighters in boxing, they are actual gentlemen. They really are gentlemen in boxing. A lot of them, they're not thugs. Boxers aren't thugs. A lot of them they do have sense around family and everybody else. So they gentlemen. So they always gonna say is a great champ. If you go further back, the further back you go, you'll see how the fighters talk to each other. Even fighters that lose to fighters, oh yeah, he beat me. He's a great champ. You know, everything he does is just great, stuff like that. Like you go back to the Sugar Ray Robinson era, and everybody talks good about each other. No, he was a hard fighter, hard to fight, good, you know, great fighter, great champ. That's how they talk. Now everybody is do as thou will. Everybody's on that me shit, and so by everybody, that me shit is gonna get this whole era killed. Just being on that whole me shit, oh me, it's all about me. What you talking about? That's me, dog. Me. That's gonna get this whole era killed, man. Just talking about all that me shit. Stop it. Stop talking about all the me stuff, and you know, be consistent. Just be gracious in losing and gracious in winning, and stop blowing your own self up and then look like shit. Yep. You blowing yourself up, but you look like crap. You blowing your own self up. Stop blowing yourself up. Because we don't necessarily want to hear it. Because you're blowing yourself up. It's like, because we got it. Because if we hear it, then now we got to anticipate and we got to wait just to see. And then once we see, guess what we see? We see transparency. We see transparency, and we're not seeing transparency in the way like, okay, we're seeing transparency the right way, not the way that the police say that is transparent. Hey, look, if I have a shredding machine that could shred 500 documents at a time, that's a monster ass machine, right? If I got a shredding machine they can shred that many documents at a time, I can always tell somebody that I'm transparent. Oh, just come in. When did the event happen? Oh, that just yesterday. Okay, come on in and check it out. How long does it take if you have a machine that can shred that many papers instantly? How long does it take to get rid of yesterday's news? I'll wait. It damn sure don't take long, does it? It don't take long at all. So yeah, they transparent, but you want to be transparent. But your transparency is not that's not the transparency that we're talking about. You're talking about transparency, and we can see straight through your ass. You know what I mean? We can see straight through you. There you go. You right. He got it down there. I think y'all, sir. Let me see. I think y'all, sir, put that down. Y'all, sir, said he's a good fighter in his own right. Is a diss in a nice way. And see, now you're seeing what I'm talking about. So when a fighter says that, when a commentator or something like that tells you that you're a great fighter, he's a good fighter in his own right, it's like, what the hell? See, that whole right thing. So when somebody says in your own right, I don't like that whole, I just don't like that, though. I don't like those words put together like that. I don't like somebody saying in your own right. What you mean in my own right? For as far as you do not, in your own right, that means like as far as you not being shit, you was good. Man, come on now. That's more or less what you're saying. Y'all see, I got my cat in the box, baby. Come on now. Salute, sir. Flame is okay. Salute now. Yeah. Oh yeah. Derek Bailey. He's he agreeing with Sir Flame, saying that's this. Yeah, good point. And see the whole subject what we talked about, what we're talking about. Now you guys actually see it, right? You see it better. Is then when we're talking about your picture. See, because if I just I'm gonna throw, just like you said, I'm gonna throw some cherries up there on top. Come on now. If the dessert wasn't complete with with all the ice cream and shit first, what is it? The Sunday. So is that what's it's called a Sunday, right? I don't know, man. And I go in there. I just don't eat that shit. But yeah, okay. So a Sunday. So what you got? You got multiple scoops, right? Different kinds of ice cream and shit. That shit can be piled up as big as you want to. Now you got the whipped cream on top, and then you got the cherries. So what you got some people doing is before the mountain's ever built, is they're putting cherries on, and the cherries don't come before the whipped cream. The cherries come after the whipped cream. And so you got all these damn cherries on there, and now you putting the whipped cream on there. I said, wait, you covering up the cherries? So in other words, you're trying to hide that shit. So it's a good point. Is you're trying to hide some shit. But if you want to be consistent, if you're going to be consistent, then bring your ass out and be consistent, and let us know, hey, he being consistent with this shit. You know what I mean? He's whooping ass on levels, and he's going to like another level. But these fighters are all everywhere though, because we're not keeping fighters like in the top 5. And you know what they got us saying? What they got us saying, oh yeah, he's gonna do his voluntary now. They got us all complacent like that. They got us sitting back like, oh yeah, he's gonna fight he just fought for the championship or whatever. He just fought the mandatory. Now he can go and fight that the voluntary. No. So if you're gonna fight a voluntary, if you just remember when you're painting with that oil and shit, you know, you want your picture, your mural. You want your mural to be consistent with somebody that's considered great. So what do? You don't really compare with them. So are you going to keep painting at a level? Are you going to just paint like, okay, we're doing good. That was a hard fight. Oh, I'm going to take it easy now. Let me go drop. What happens a lot of times when somebody drops down and fights 2 easy fights? What usually happens? If you fight a couple of easy fights, what happens when you get in there with a monster again? Now you just don't look as good, right? It's like, oh shit, you either get beat or you just don't look as good. Or maybe you got beat up a little bit and you won. But it's like, damn, I guess you still got it, but you should have just stayed your ass up. You always got to keep it. See, the thing is, that's where they make the mistake in boxing, is in boxing, you got to keep your competition up. And a lot of these fighters, they don't want to keep that competition up. They want to sneak out and do just like what he said right there, just like what Sir said. This is like what he said. That's what they want to do. Oh yeah, justify. He ain't really. See, they want to try to do that Wizard of Oz shit to you, like, oh, he's not really a cherry pick, y'all. Come on, y'all. He ain't no cherry pick. He's not no cherry pick, y'all. D to the Bailey, he ain't no cherry pick, man. Man, y'all stop calling him a cherry pick, man. And this is what they do. I'm gonna tell you. See, I like to tell the truth about it. This is what they do when it's a cherry pick. When it's a cherry pick, what they want to do is they want to constantly like compliment the fighter, right? They want to tell you what the fighter has done good, who he's fought, and shit like that. So you can be like, oh yeah, that'll be a good fight. Yeah, they want to get you with the head nodding, like yeah, okay. I see why he's fighting him. Yeah, that's a good fight, man. They got you. Once they get you head nodding, and then you start believing they shit. They cherry pick hype and stuff like that. But guess what they really say when it is a good fighter? Oh, his record's okay. I mean, he got a good record. He undefeated. But I'm undefeated too, or I could still beat him. They're not going. He's okay. See, when you're a good fighter, or when you're a great fighter, they'll just say, oh, I don't know. He don't hit hard. He don't do this. Same thing they used to do with Mayweather and everybody else. Muhammad Ali, everybody else. When you're a great fighter, people talk shit on a certain level. Like, oh, no, he's beatable and this and that. I mean, he could be beat. And they talk to you like that. But when there's somebody that they want to fight and make you feel like they good, then they going to bring up all their fights. Oh, he gave such and such a hard fight. I just want to try to look good against him and that, blah, blah. That now the narrative and the story for the fighter is actually a big story all of a sudden. Am I right or wrong? Have y'all noticed that? That's right, D to the Bay. He said the skills is going to regress on you. And that's exactly what happened. But boxing is one of those sports. I mean, of course, you can't always have somebody in there banging and banging and banging. No. We're not saying that. But keep it up high. Keep your competition, because see, this is where my point is going to be missed. My point is going to be missed is because when I'm saying this, I mean styles make fights. But I pause that shit too, because I know what you're going to say. Well, he fought him. It might not have been cherry pick. He picked him for the style. No. But you still got to keep it. You feel what I mean? You still got to keep them on a certain level, though. Don't give me that stupid shit, because I know you about to say that dumb shit like, oh, well, that was good style for him, even though he was ranked number 15. No, I'm not saying it like that. You can find somebody in the top 6 or 7. I don't even know why I'm going 6 or 7. 5, because 5 is my number. In the top 5, you can find somebody who's gonna give you a rough time that maybe you can beat if you're on that championship level. But don't stop tricking us. Stop cherry picking and tricking us and shit, and then act like it was something like, oh, nobody never put this fighter down and that. And you even got the commentators that'll say stupid shit like that sometimes. Oh, nobody's ever put him out and this and that. They said that shit with the Jamal fight. Jamal beat the shit out of D. Chank. D. Chank is hard, I'm telling you, but he still got the shit beat out of him. He was still hard. He was still in there, still fighting. Yeah, I would have had Maul, I would have put Maul on uppercut mode on his ass. Anytime he came in, he was taking like a counter hook or uppercut. Anytime you jump your ass up in there. You see what I mean? That's how you got to do, man. Because you know they're gonna come up with shit. Well, he put him down. Nobody else ever put him down or something like that. Just like Sean Porter. 2 people put him down, right? Broner put his ass down and Earl put him down. But what does that mean? He's a rough fight. But like I told y'all before, I went back over and looked at the Ugas fight again. And like I said, that Porter makes people look bad. But he made his own self look bad against Ugas. It's his own fault. It's his fault. But then again, you got to fight the ones that's up top. So he had to fight him. But the last guy, I don't know. He did that for, like I said, he did that to propel himself in the mandatory, but at the same time, now he's talking about fighting somebody else. I'm going to fight Mel. No, you ain't going to take Mel, Shine. Nobody deserves Mel. If you're not in the division already, you don't deserve Mel. Shut your ass up and find your ass somebody else to fight. Go fight Ugas again, because Ugas got a belt. Everybody trying to find a way that they can pad their freaking record and shit. I'm sorry, that's just, for me, that's what I see. And everybody wants to pad their record. I'm going to pad my record. It might not necessarily be cherry picks, but I got to pad my record. Let me see, I can fight a couple of guys down here, and then I'm going to be 36-0. Because they're lying to you when they say that, when they talk about that somebody's old got to go, they're lying. Because they don't want to fight. If they got an O, they don't want to fight. And Keith finally lost his O. It don't matter now. You got to fight. Danny lost his O. You got to fight. Once you lose that O, once that O go, you got to fight. And remember, all of them had O's for a while. Shine had an O. No. Had an O up until Brooke. Right? Keith had an O. Danny had an O. And we still got a couple in welterweight with O's. So Sean, not Sean, but Bud, get your ass in there and fight Ennis. A lot of people don't want that fight, but get your ass in there. Man, you got to paint this picture, man. This picture has to go a certain way. I'm an up-and-coming fighter, and I'm going to give him that action since he won it. Okay, there you go. That's your sell point. That's all you got to do to sell that fight. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do a whole lot of extra shit. Oh, yeah, he gave such and such a rough time. Yeah, I think it was a close fight. I might even gave him the edge. I'm going to see what I can do with him. See, that's when you're cherry picking. When you're cherry picking, then your story gets long and shit. You get all long-winded and shit when you're cherry picking. If it's short, that means you ain't cherry picking. If you get all long-winded, either you're unsure or you cherry picking. As simple as that. But we don't play that shit in Eagles Wear, man. Come on now. Y'all get out of here. Y'all know that we don't play that because we going to get the real in Eagles Wear Boxing. Eagles Wear Boxing when you want the real, not some deal. That's how we do it. That's my saying, man. Everybody know in Eagles Wear boxing. Shit, so stop it. Y'all stop it. Y'all get more consistent. Give us the fights, man. We got enough fighters in there. Shit. Because we end up getting more fights than we need because people want to cherry pick. It's like, we don't need those fights. We need y'all to fight each other, get all that shit, get the mandatories out the way, fight each other, get somebody undisputed in all these different divisions so we can see the next era of people that's coming up. Get your ass out. Get in and get your ass out. Get in and get your ass out. Build your legacy and then get your ass out. Don't be painting, like I said, don't paint with oil and then black and white and then watercolors and shit and nobody can see what you just did. And then you're going to get that shit, just like I said, you're going to get that saying, and y'all, sir, he says it too. He a good fighter in his own right. When they say shit like that, oh, he a good fighter in his own. When they start telling you shit like that, then you didn't go down with the greatness like you should have. That's all I can say. You didn't go down with the greatness like you should. But anyway, like I said, yeah, we've been here for a while, sir. So shit, I gotta get up. I gotta get up out of here today, man. I can't say that now because I've been here so long. But yeah, we'll close this one out, man. Yeah, it's a great subject though for me. I thought it was a good subject. I thought it was actually short. I thought it was gonna be like a real short subject. But then, like I said, once I start sharing it, then everybody start seeing like the words and shit, like the dumbass words like the commentators even use when they're saying that. And I'm gonna stay with Yasar on that. That is kind of that is disrespectful. At the same time, just tell somebody they good. If they good, oh man, he was a good fighter. See, that's how we do it. As real fans, we'll call somebody a good fighter. A lot of stuff we'll say with the G. We'll give you the triple G's. We'll say you was great. We'll say you was good. Or we'll say you was garbage. You're going to get one of the G's out of us. But we're not going to be saying no stupid shit like that. We ain't going to be like, oh, he's a good fighter in his own right. Some people say that because they get caught up in the boxing jargon and shit. But I'm just not one of those that's going to say something like that. You know what I mean? You good, you good. I mean, because good could be, there's a long line for good. A long line for good. For great is short. Great, that shit is like this. Short. Good, good could be, there's variables for good. Inside boxer, outside, he had a good jab. See, you good, you could be good. Oh, he was real good offensive fighter, real good defense. See, you're still in the good. You're in the good. But the whole your own right shit, that doesn't put you here. I don't know where that puts you at. I don't like it. I'm just saying, don't say that about people. And let's get out of here, man. My shout out to all the real people that I see. And my shout out to all y'all that mess with me. That's right. Eagles Way of boxing. Nothing but blessings, baby. Y'all see it. Y'all on my team now. You're on my team with Crawford. And so, if you're in Eagles Way of boxing and the show is about over with, hit the door. But that's what it is, y'all. I'm going to catch y'all, man.